When life shatters you, most people stay broken, but a rare few, rise stronger than ever. My name is Arjun, and this is the story of how I lost everything: my family, my dreams, my sense of self, and how I found the strength to rebuild a life I never thought possible. I was 32 when it all fell apart. I had a small but happy life, a wife, Mira, who was my anchor, a 5-year-old daughter, Annika, whose laughter filled our home, and a steady job at a printing press. It wasn't perfect, but it was enough, until the day it wasn't. It started with a cough that wouldn't go away. Mira ignored it for weeks, saying it was just a cold. But one night, she woke up gasping, her face pale, her hands trembling. I rushed her to the hospital. The doctor's words hit like a hammer. Lung cancer, advanced. They gave her 6 months. 6 months to love, to laugh, to hold her tight. She fought for 8, each day a battle against pain and fear. Annika would curl up beside her, whispering stories to make her smile. I held her hand, promising we'd beat this. But cancer doesn't keep promises. Mira slipped away one quiet morning, her hand cold in mine. The grief was a weight I couldn't carry. Annika stopped laughing. I stopped sleeping. The world felt gray, like someone had drained the color from my life. I went to work, but my hands shook too much to operate the machines. My boss was kind at first, but kindness has limits. 3 months after Mira's death, I was let go. No job, no savings, no wife. Just a little girl looking at me with eyes that asked, "Why is everything broken, Papa?" I moved us to a smaller apartment, one room with peeling paint and a leaking roof. Annika slept on a thin mattress. I slept on the floor. Bills piled up. Neighbors whispered. I felt their pity, their judgment. "He's lost it," they'd say. And they weren't wrong. I was drowning. Every night I'd sit alone after Annika slept, staring at Mira's old scarf, the one she wore on our first date. I'd hold it and cry, asking why life had chosen me to break. The lowest moment came one rainy evening. Annika was hungry, and all we had was half a loaf of stale bread. She looked at me, her small face tired, and said, "Papa, when will things be okay again?" I had no answer. I felt like a failure, as a father, as a man, as a human. I wanted to disappear. I thought of ending it all, of escaping the pain. But then I saw Annika's tiny shoes by the door, worn out but neatly placed, waiting for me to take her to school. She was still fighting. How could I give up? That night was my turning point. I sat on the floor, Mira's scarf in my hands, and something shifted inside me. I realized I wasn't just carrying my pain. I was carrying Annika's future. Mira wouldn't want me to break. She'd want me to fight. For our daughter. For myself. I didn't know how, but I knew I had to try. Resilience wasn't a gift, it was a choice. The next morning I woke up with a flicker of purpose. I couldn't fix everything, but I could start small. I walked to a nearby shop and asked for work. Any work. The owner, an old man with kind eyes, offered me a job cleaning his store. It paid little, but it was a start. I swept floors, stacked shelves, and smiled at customers, even when my heart ached. Each paycheck felt like a tiny victory, a brick in the foundation I was rebuilding. I started talking to Annika more, really talking. I told her stories about her mother, how Mira danced in the rain, how she loved mangoes, how she believed in us. Annika began to smile again, little by little. One evening, she drew a picture of our family. Mira in the sky, smiling down at us. "She's proud of you, Papa," she said. Those words were oxygen to my soul. Small wins grew into bigger ones. I saved enough to buy Annika new shoes. I enrolled in a free night course to learn basic computer skills, something I'd never thought I could do. My hands, once shaky, grew steady. My heart, once heavy, felt lighter. I wasn't the man I used to be. I was becoming someone new, someone forged in pain, but shaped by hope. One day, the shop owner called me over. "Arjun," he said, "you're not just a cleaner. You're reliable. I'm promoting you to manager." I stood there stunned. Manager, a title I never thought I'd hear. That night, I took Annika to a small restaurant, our first treat in years. She laughed as she ate ice cream, and for the first time, I felt like I was enough. Years passed and I kept building. I started a small printing business, using skills from my old job and my new computer knowledge. It wasn't big, but it was mine. Annika grew into a bright, kind teenager, her mother's spirit shining through her. I framed Mira's scarf and hung it on the wall, a reminder of love, loss, and the strength to keep going. Today I stand taller, not because life is easy, but because I've learned to carry its weight. I'm not the man who broke under grief. I'm the man who chose to rise. For my daughter, for Mira's memory, for myself. My purpose is clear: to show Annika that life can hurt, but it can also heal. To show her that we are stronger than our scars. You don't find resilience when life is kind. You find it when you're shattered and choose to stand anyway. Every scar is proof you survived. Every step forward is proof you're stronger than you know.